Today, I am going to talk about 20 verbs that you absolutely need to know in French. Also, I am going to talk about all the different specificities for every verb. So I am going to tell you if a verb is regular, irregular, easy to learn, not really easy to learn. I am going to tell you everything. Also, I made sure to put every verb into an easy phrase, like that it will be easier for you to memorize them. So let's dive into the lesson. Hi guys, I'm Pearl and welcome back to my channel, My French Story, the place to be to learn French easily and quickly, so make sure to subscribe. Today we're talking about verbs. Verbs, but the most common and the most important verbs in French that everybody should know if you learn French. So let's dive into our first verb. So the first verb that you absolutely need to know is the verb être. Être. So the verb être is an auxiliary, and an auxiliary it's a verb that is going to help other verbs. So être is really irregular. But the good thing with être is that you are going to learn it pretty easily because you use the verb être all the time. So because you use it all the time and you are going to hear it all the time, it is going to be easy for you to memorize this verb. So for example, je suis contente. Je suis contente. The second verb that you absolutely need to know is the verb avoir. Avoir. So avoir is also an auxiliary, so avoir is also very irregular, but same thing. You are going to use avoir all the time and you are going to hear avoir all the time as well, so it is going to be pretty easy for you to memorize it. For example, j'ai beaucoup d'amis. J'ai beaucoup d'amis. So the next verb that you need to know is the verb aimer. Aimer. So aimer is a regular verb, so it means that the conjugation is pretty easy. Also, aimer is a pretty easy verb to use. For example, je t'aime. Je t'aime. So you also need to know the verb manger. Manger. So manger is also a regular verb, and manger is quite easy to use. For example, je mange des fraises. Je mange des fraises. So after manger, of course, we need the verb boire. Boire. So boire is an irregular verb, so here you need to be careful with the conjugation. For example, je bois de l'eau. Je bois de l'eau. Nous buvons de l'eau. Nous buvons de l'eau. So here, be careful with the conjugation. So another verb that you need to know is the verb penser. Penser. So penser is a regular verb, but penser can be a little bit tricky to use because penser can be followed by que or a. For example, je pense que tu es jolie. Je pense que tu es jolie. Ou je pense à toi. Je pense à toi. The verb parler is also very important. And parler is a regular verb, so the conjugation is not hard, but parler can be tricky to use because parler can be followed by the preposition à or the preposition de. For example, je parle à ma mère. Je parle à ma mère, ou je parle de mes rêves. Je parle de mes rêves. And you can even have je parle de mes rêves à ma mère. Je parle de mes rêves à ma mère. So another verb that you absolutely need to know is the verb aller. Aller. So aller ends with er, but aller does not belong to the first group. Aller belongs to the third group. Aller is extremely irregular, so you need to be extremely careful. For example, je vais à l'école. Je vais à l'école. Nous allons à l'école. Nous allons à l'école. So another verb that you really need to know is the verb faire. So the verb faire is quite irregular, but here it is going to be pretty easy for you to use it because you are going to use the verb faire a lot. For example, je fais mes devoirs. Je fais mes devoirs. So the next verb is the verb jouer. Jouer. So jouer is a regular verb, so easy to conjugate, and jouer is easy to use. For example, je joue avec mes amis. Je joue avec mes amis. So the next verb that you absolutely need to know is the verb finir. Finir. So finir is a regular verb and finir belongs to the second group. It is probably the most used verb of the second group and it is really easy to use. For example, je finis le travail à 17 heures. Je finis le travail à 17 heures. So another verb that I think you really need to know is the verb pouvoir. Pouvoir. So pouvoir is really irregular. So when you see this verb or when you want to use this verb, you need to be really careful. For example, je peux, nous pouvons, ils, elles peuvent, elles peuvent. So you see here that pouvoir is really irregular, so please be careful with this verb. So the next verb that you need to know is the verb falloir. Falloir. So falloir is very irregular, but falloir is easy to use because you can only use it with the pronoun il. For example, il faut être à l'heure. Il faut être à l'heure. The next verb is the verb vouloir. Vouloir. So vouloir is really irregular and same thing here, you need to be careful when you conjugate the verb vouloir. For example, je veux, nous voulons, ils, elles veulent, elles veulent. Same thing here, be careful with the conjugation. Another very important verb is the verb devoir. Devoir. So this one is really important because it is so useful. But you need to be careful when you use it because devoir is really irregular. For example, je dois, ils, elles doivent, elles doivent. Same thing here, be careful with the conjugation. So the next verb is the verb prendre. Prendre. So I am sure that you can already guess that the verb prendre is going to be irregular, so you need to be careful with the conjugation. For example, je prends le train. Je prends le train. Ils, elles prennent le train. Ils, elles prennent le train. The next verb is the verb mettre. Mettre. Same thing here, mettre is really irregular, so yes, you know what I'm going to say. You need to be careful with the conjugation. For example, je mets le livre sur la table. Je mets le livre sur la table. Ils, elles mettent le livre sur la table. Ils, elles mettent le livre sur la table. So the next verb that I really want you to know is the verb voir. Voir. So voir, yes, voir is irregular. I'm sorry, so many irregular verbs, but hey, they are very common and useful verbs, so you need to know them. So voir is irregular, so be careful with the conjugation, exactly. For example, je vois la mer. Je vois la mer. Nous voyons la mer. Nous voyons la mer. So another verb that you need to know is the verb dire. Dire. And dire is Yes. Dire is irregular, but dire is very, very useful and you use it a lot, so it's going to be easy for you to memorize it. For example, je dis la vérité. Je dis la vérité. Or, nous disons la vérité. Nous disons la vérité. Another verb that you really, really need to know is the verb travailler. Travailler. So here the verb travailler is regular. You just need to be careful because sometimes you can think that travailler means travel. No, no, no. Travailler means to work, okay? So travailler, it's easy to use. For example, je travaille toute la journée. Je travaille toute la journée. So guys, I hope this video was useful. If you think that I forgot a very, very important verb, please let me know in the comment section box down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel because you really don't want to miss anything. That's it for me and I see you very soon for another video. Salut!